And we are, in fact, live and direct wake movement. We are coming to you on the 6th of August, 2023. It is good and it is pleasant that you are here. We have just some great stuff to go through, namely my Twitter feed. DeSantis just completely begging for money for votes, but it's not even votes, because if he was begging just for votes, he would be talking to the masses, but he's talking to a very select group of people who are a very small minority, but have a very much of an overrepresentation in the power and the money. First you get the power, and then you get the money, and then you get the respect, which you need in life, which makes me want to, while we wait for people to gather, let us do some music we could play. I haven't listened to this song forever because I don't listen to rap really anymore because it's horrible.
I believe in money, power, and respect. First you get the
Money,
then you get the motherfucking power. After you get the fucking power, motherfuckers will respect you. Money, power, respect, what you need in life. Money, power, respect, what you eating right. Money, power, respect, you sleep at night. You'll see the light, key to life. Money, power, respect, what you need in life. Money, power, respect, what you eating right.
Shout out to DMX and Lil Kim, who knows where they are. Do you know where you're going to? Do you know the ways that life are showing you? It's not how that goes. All right, my friends, this is something that gave me much, almost anger, because I don't think we should be getting angry. We shouldn't give them that power. But it really, really upset me. And it sparked within me the will to crush this system. These bastards. Most Christian churches see baptism as a once-in-a-lifetime event. This is mostly Catholicism. Some churches do, like, they baptize you again because they don't take... Oh, the Catholic Church will baptize you again. I worked for them. If you weren't baptized in a Trinitarian formula, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, Spirit, then it was deemed as invalid. And then we would bring through the sacrament of initiation of baptism, followed by first communion, and then finished off with confirmation. That's the process of your indoctrination. A threefold method. Most Christian churches see baptism as a once-in-a-lifetime event that can be neither repeated nor undone. Well, what about us who figured out that this was a horrible thing and we want to totally break all our chains that stem from this tree of death yoked upon us by our enemies? Not us. They claim us to be their enemies. They hold that those who have been baptized remain baptized, even if they renounce the Christian faith, by adopting a non-Christian religion, or by rejecting religion entirely. Well, here at the Wake Movement, we are transmutating, transforming all of religion, but to Christianity, we wash away this scapegoat sacrificial blood ritual that they put us through at an age where we couldn't even make up our own rational mind. And here's what I had to say. First of all, these bastards, i.e. the Pope of Rome, who says that we can't, that we have to be, that we remain baptized no matter what. No, screw you, Pope. F you, Pope. I'd curse, but stupid YouTube. Take this curse off of me. Release me from this lie. Wash away this guilt that you've injected on not just my generation, but many before. The Aquarian, theaquarian.tv, I invite you to follow. I don't like to followers. I invite you to lead with me in the institution and the establishment of de-baptism or unbaptism, or removal of this Christian, Judaic, Abrahamic baptism. And we established de-baptism as a sacred rite, but because we're not doing things as just negating and tearing down, we're building up and we're constructing. So as a positive affirmation, we have different titles we could use for a purification, a cleansing ritual, rite, ceremony, sacrament. We initiate. We celebrate the coming to the truth of this all and the breaking away of these Abrahamic cages. Forgive our parents and theirs for being brainwashed, you know. Can't blame them. It's all they had. It's their environment. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have access to all the information that we have. So we can't. But there was a good amount of people back in the day who did wake up to the Abrahamic matrix. And they got pushed out of the mainstream circle. Thomas Paine, somebody responsible for much of our revolutionary literature, was one who realized that this was all mythology and not real. Forgive our parents and theirs for being brainwashed. Now let us be washed away of this Abrahamic curse. So it is. So I know I didn't have that in the title, but I wanted to speak on it. Now I retweeted this. Jamie Foxx. Let's listen to what he's got to say. What you got to say?
Don't
Well, first of all,
because I get out the chains, I get free, I save.
Well, first of all, let's hope that Jamie Foxx is healthy. And what are all these perfectly healthy people getting sick of? It seems that black people and whites, like what RFK Jr. said that the schmovid affects the least the Chinese and Ashkenazis. I like to see the science behind that, but did he just concoct that out of anywhere? And surely he's not anti-Shemitic, because we'll look to see what he's been doing lately as he tries to make a bid for a run for the presidency, which is Not gonna happen. But let's listen to Jamie Foxx.
Don't be worried about it, because I get out the chains, I get free, I save my wife, and I kill all the white people in the movie. How great is that? And how black is that? Don't be worried about it.
Imagine any other people being put in that situation, or anybody else saying that, oh, he has the right to say that. He has the right to want to kill off a bunch of white people because they came from Africa to here, from one slavery situation to another, where they would eventually get freed. What's Africa looking like these days? Is it really good? Do they want to go and live there?
Don't be worried about it, because I get out the chains, I get free, I save my wife, and I kill all the white people in the movie.
The applause. You could say that with the Germans too, because of Hollywood and World War II effery. Imagine if some German guy was in the place of Jamie Foxx. He says, don't worry, we got the truth out. And in the movie, I kill all Jewish people. Can't even say it. And then everybody clapped. How insane would that be? Why is this not insane? Because we've been successfully mind kafunked. So Yiddish word. Here's a fire-ass meme I came up with. Me trying to tell the world that Jesus is a Judaic psyop. That's the biggest conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's just factual, historical, facts. I know that hurts our feelings when we figured out we've been lied to and led astray and misled, and it takes a little bit of humility to accept this, but ultimately it's liberating and freeing the truth. That photo is like a Renaissance painting. Look at this fucking cop. Cops suck. Oh, blue lives matter instead of black lives matter. Dog, cops take their order followers. When they get the order to come and arrest you for, doesn't matter for what, they follow their orders. Who's giving them their orders? Fool. Now, I have even family that are police officers who are great people. Just like Christians. Both cucked. One for religion, one for the government, more so. Next, we're going to go over this. Let's see if we got anybody in the chat. No. 1 view, 0 concurrent viewers. I'll use this time to play some music and go to the bathroom. I love Zavia.
Location
Promise me tonight.
I don't need
Nothing else but you. P. Diddy's a piece of crap. Okay. Listen to this. Israeli cool. Are some comedians hiding behind comedy to make anti-Semitic jokes? A few weeks ago, I wrote about comedian Chrissy Meyer's Holocaust comments, which I found to have crossed the line, especially when coupled with her interviewing a vile anti-Semite Owen Benjamin. He's a Christian. He worships Jesus as his God and Savior, a Jewish person. So how anti-Semitic can... Oh, but the blood libel claim that he was killed by Jewish people. Well, in the Apostles' Creed, what do we say in church when I used to go? Suffered, died, was crucified under Pontius Pilate. Didn't say he was crucified by the Hebraic people. Especially when coupled with her interviewing vile anti-Shemite Owen Benjamin, who is funny, who is a little bit crazy, but we like Owen Benjamin for the most part in the No More News unofficial fan club. Although they did not discuss the JOOs at all. Well, I feel like you're a little bit jealous that they were talking about other stuff instead of you. After writing the post and a follow-up, Mayer responded indignantly, claiming, amongst other things, the comments were inside jokes. Is there inside jokes that you have? Does that mean? Yeah, probably. And her followers piled on me. How dare they? Oh, poor victim me. Calling me things like the, quote, free speech police, despite the fact I never called for her to be canceled. What's this whole thing about? With a significant amount of anti-Semitic rhetoric aimed my way. Well, I'm sure. Why don't you show an example of it? Perhaps I will deal with this incident in more depth in another post. Yeah, let me just vaguely mention it and just have you take it as fact. But it got me thinking how it can sometimes be harder to ascertain with comedians whether or not they are actually anti-Semitic, given they say things to shock and shine a light on societal attitudes. Then more comedianess jokes came to light, which I think also deserves some scrutiny. Twitter user Shaverstus very Yiddish. Shaverstus drew my attention. Oh my! Do you guys have an inside conversation? To El Orlando and Lily Michelle joking about Schmittler and Anne Frank, including sleeping with Hitler if he was hotter. These are totally nobodies. They're the only person to watch these. 55 likes. Yeah. I think we can all agree that this is vile, blah, blah, blah. No one cares about these people or no. El Orlando says, I think it's impressive when people write new Holocaust jokes that are funny because there's already millions of Holocaust schmokes, like 6 schmillion. The sacred 6 million. In Germany, the hotbed of Nazis, if you say that 5,999,099 died, not 6 million, you go to jail. Because it doesn't fit in with the sacred gematria of the six days of creation, 6-sided cube, 6 points on the Star of David Remfram. I'm stupid. Making jokes mocking the idea that Jewish people come from the Middle East. Most Ashkenazi Jewish lineage doesn't go back to Middle East. It's European. But it's not, it's still Semitic, I think, because it's not Aryan. Even though they look white, they're told that they're not white their whole life. That's what their parents tell them. I've had Jewish friends tell me this, that they tell them that even though you might look like them, you're not them. And they're always out to get you in every generation. Amalek, Esau arises. Making jokes mocking the idea that Jewish people come from the Middle East does not seem to be for the shock value, but rather points to bigoted views on Jews. Now, when I consider her Schmollikost jokes, I feel more of a shiver down my spine rather than just disgust. Schmollikostianity, it's a religion. And they pump it down our throats. How many other genocides, imprisonments of people, the death of the Germans, the raping of the German people, civilians, women, mothers, after Schmittler totally tanked the whole country. So to answer my question, yes. So to answer my own question, yes, I do believe some comedians are hiding behind comedy to spread their anti-Semitism. It all has to do with looking beyond one or two jokes in isolation to see the bigger picture. You're just not looking deep enough. It's this paranoid mentality, and I feel bad for them. I sympathize with them for having it. They're told it their whole lives. It's really sad. Shout out to the Aquarian TV and the Aquarian Church/Temple, who does not believe in Jesus as a historical figure and rather acknowledges it as a schmooish psyop. I'm sorry. In the Bible, not being the word of God, but being mostly religious, racist propaganda used to theologically conquer, at the time, the Romans, heavily influenced by Greek culture. It doesn't believe that God chose any people as maybe the Aryan race. No. We're not going to do what they do. We're not going to prop us up as better than another race. We recognize our differences, but we also recognize in Aquarianism our equality of dignity when one is in a state of camaraderie and filial, what's the word I'm looking for? Like love for your brother and sister. Aquarianism is for a mass religious reformation, transformation. It applies logic, reason, and the historically critical method and approach to the study of religion. We don't know any, even way less than others. I retweeted Ryan Dawson. Why dude, I have a love-hate relationship with Ryan Dawson. He's smart. I give that to him. He remembers. He's got a mind that remembers lots of dates and places. But he's lacking in some areas, as I am definitely. Perhaps we all are. Ann Coulter says, to Trump, you had your chance with Republican House and Senate. Yet this time he's going to drain the swamp. He never locked up Hillary, did he? DeSantis actually bashed him on some stuff that was true. But then DeSantis goes into total cuckold mode to the country that we give a bunch of money to and fight their wars for and are owned by. So that's great. Mostly thanks to the Christian religion. And then the controlled opposition, Islam. And then they just wipe each other out. And who remains? The person who created them both. Ann Coulter, you had your chance with the Republican House and Senate. You handed domestic policy to your son-in-law. And Gary Cohn, you handed foreign son-in-law Jared Kushner and Gary Cohn of the priesthood of the Levites, the Cohens. You handed forward policy to your son-in-law in a country that gave your son-in-law $2 billion. Shut the fuck up forever. Is Ann Coulter, does she speak out against those who should not be named? I did want to show this great, we'll go to Adam's page. I mean, Adam just, he'd be hitting the head on the shoulders. Doesn't that look like Adam? He'd be hitting a nail. Oh, look at Christ Cook Pastors, who's freaking living legend. Ghislaine Maxwell received prison benefits after adopting late father, Mossad agent Robert Maxwell, owner of all our scientific academic journals and peer-reviewed articles. That company, after she adopted his faith. So his faith was so strong that he died of falling off the back of his own yacht. If you believe that, let me sell you a bridge. I don't know what that means. Since adopting her father's faith, she's been rewarded with better food and more time off. They are preparing for Gog and Magog. Heinrich Palmgren, great.
Roosters, like figures like Trump, like from a male point of view, a lot of what this is doing is trying to drive anxiety, right? It's trying to teach men that it's normal for there to be roosters, like figures like Trump or Putin, or for that matter, Hitler and Mussolini. These hyper-performing types are fascist types. And then the rest of us, other men, are supposed to be anxious. We're supposed to be worried. Are we producing enough children? Are we male enough? That is a fascist model, where you have this guy who struts at the top, and then everyone else is.
You know, I kind of feel like that's what Nick Fuentes does. He has a bunch of incels following him. And Tate. Or Zerka. Oh, I didn't even want to say Zerka's name because it's so embarrassing. But may Odin bless him. Maybe he'll come around. He says he's watched a lot of Adam's videos. Spent hours. So, if somebody has really spent hours watching No More News videos, and his guests, such as Carrier and the like, Scribina, how could you come to where homeboy is, Zerka, right now? unless you've totally turned on the cognitive dissonance shield, or you've just lost your brain. Let's listen to this. Oh, but then also, okay, so we promote masculinity, that Aryan, Martian strength of the man, that action that is the opposite, or not feminine. And so if we do that, then what?
Is supposed to be worried and follow along with him for that reason.
The Jews will not replace us and you will not replace us. Those are the two things that the Charlottesville thugs walking down the street marching, you will not replace us. To me, that was a hyper...
Thugs? They were carrying tiki torches. When have you ever associated tiki torches with thuggery? Not until this thing that I think was pretty much a setup, because they're still using it. How many years ago was that? I mean, the BLM rallies compared to that? Come on.
Masculinity flex too. It was this anxiety among these young college-aged men that somehow, you know, taking away a statue of a long dead white man who owned slaves was somehow threatening their very existence on this earth, and that in their view, somehow Jewish people were fomenting this conspiracy to replace that kind of white man, that kind of that particular type of right-wing white man with, I don't know what, I guess with brown people, black people, with immigrants, etc. I put it all together, and it is down to not just masculine anxiety, but racial anxiety.
The history of toxic racism is the history of toxic anti-women beliefs. Femophobia, a fear of real women showing up. And when a real woman shows up, it challenges the testosterone.
What is a real woman? Someone who's manly? No, a real woman is a mother, a sister, a daughter, nurturing, emotionally supportive, childbearing, cooking, cleaning. I'm not crazy like that, but there are going to be women lawyers, women doctors, but they just have more fire and air element in them. That is what it is.
Level of men, they somehow feel they have to reassert.
This is kind of true. With this whole with the girl Pearl, women shouldn't vote. This is a whole Christian stupid brain effery. They shouldn't speak in church. They just sit on that side. So it's a bunch of smelly, sweaty dudes dancing on the, like, look at every Hasidic party. Yeah, I would not want to do that. I'd much rather be at a dance where there's girls there.
Violently, their prerogative to not only lord it over women, but other men as well. When you talk about Tucker Carlson and the like, this generating a kind of mythical, all-powerful masculinity that at its root is afraid. It's scared little boys trapped in the bodies of muscle-bound men.
He's got a little bit of a point.
Abortion is about the fear of the disappearance.
Andrew Tate, gay as shit. He uses, objectifies women. He'll never find a real meaningful, loving relationship with a woman. Genuine, sincere, authentic. When you objectify women, that's what pornography does. It's quite sad.
Of the white race. So stop killing our babies and increase our wherewithal genetically. The moment you shatter the...
What the hell is this guy talking about? NBC? Abortion is really aimed at black people, actually. When you go into the hood, you see poster boards of, like, abortion. Like, they'll pay you to abort your child. And then we have mostly black women. It's a class thing. It's not so racist. Racial. Poor white women have children to get benefits. I'm sure in comparison, equally, almost, maybe, to black women having children and getting paid for it.
What this is doing is trying to drive anxiety, right?
So stop killing our babies and increase our wherewithal genetically. The moment you shatter the image of an ideal woman for most of these men, you are the B word and you are to be tossed away. So all that does come together in this hyper-masculinist intolerance that is neo-fascist that resists governance by anybody except another white man.
Resist governance over anybody besides yourself. Shout out to Mark Passio. Okay, let's see what else. See through it all, always dropping hot fire. But there was one. Oh. Jay Dyer is really... Not only is his outfit and his hair going astray, but his logic has gone to shit, and he's no longer a serious person. No one can debate him. Let's listen to this.
So I apologize in advance if I get a little chiv. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Here we have DeSantis, which I put in the title. Let's listen to this sad, sad state of our country. We're trying to out-cuck the other candidate to sell out our country. Fuck.
Service. I appreciate that very much. We all do. This question is tough for me to ask, so I apologize in advance if I get a little choked up. My family lives in Florida, in southern Florida. They live
in Boca Raton and Jupiter in a $1 million home. Doing fucking great. Are they living in the projects in the ghetto? Well, don't get so fucking choked up, Laura Landerman Garber.
very much. We all.
Oh, look up Gerber, the baby food company. Look up Bayer, the medicine company, who made a bunch of money off of World War II, who has ties to Schmeienists.
This question is tough for me to ask, so I apologize in advance if I get a little choked up.
A little verklempt.
My family lives in Florida, in southern Florida. They live in a religious Jewish community. And my family, like many families...
How about the religious communities? I'm sorry. The religious communities that live in Brooklyn, New York, they legit have their own ambulances. They moved into our country and then created their own country within our country that isn't us, doesn't adhere to the laws of the land. Jared Kushner was mad about Chris Christie for taking his father's horrible crimes outside of the rabbinate. Or he was mad at his uncle for accusing his father of setting him up with a prostitute to videotape it, to send it to his wife on his birthday to get him out of some legal money real estate contract. And so that was his gripe, was that he went outside of their own little country to take it to our legal system. And Chris Christie was the face of that.
He's there, including the little
I'm getting
ones.
my pot.
I have
Hold
a
on.
lot of little ones. They have to take incredible precautions against the rising anti-Semitic attacks that are happening right in their neighborhoods. It's really heartbreaking and tragic to me. I apologize. Recently, maybe in the last 2 months, there was a gathering of some of your supporters, or say they're your supporters. They say you're supporters.
It helps.
And they had
It helps.
flags that had
The pot
December
helps.
2024. they also had Nazi swastika flags, the flags that tore my family and 6 million and then 10 million people to death. What would you say to my family and to my grandchildren? Please, sir, can you tell me what you would say to them directly? They're little.
Well, first of all, when they're doing that, understand, those are not true supporters of mine. That is an operation to try to link me to something so that it smears me. I can tell you what we've done since I've been governor. You know, we've put in $12 million for security at Jewish day schools because
For the
we're not
12
gonna let
tribes.
those schools be attacked. We beefed up Holocaust education standards. We have the strongest Holocaust education standards in the entire country.
Dog, that goes throughout the whole country. My sisters went to Brown University, an Ivy League college, and I looked at their history book. The first chapter, written by trending hashtag Schmyanus, also trending disc golf. I'd like to take this moment to introduce you to somebody from my hometown. Look at this shot today.
Out there towards 8's basket, fade it back, but then he's like,
Bam!
we'll take another.
Calvin Heimberg
This is not the line you typically see players go for here.
throws his disc.
Those righty dominant players.
Look
are
how
gonna
long
play
that
the
is.
hyzer along the right side, throw it out there towards 8's basket, fade it back.
Hits the
but
tree,
then he's like,
bam! In the chains. Look at him.
Love seeing everybody
He never shows emotion. Look how hype he is.
Why not? Well,
National Disc Golf Day. I think disc golf can save us all. 7 views and 1 concurrent viewer. All right, that's better than it was before. Okay, so Jamie Foxx. Oh, I wanted to show Adam's interview on with Grace. Yeah, this girl. This girl is great. Grace Thorpe, aka Joan. I'll have to work on her name. And her family has a whole situation that I don't care about. Rhode Island. I recently went to Rhode Island because that's where my sisters at Brown University graduated. Apollonian winter. I thought she was Apollonian. She's tall. Now look at this great highlight from Adam and this girl on a Ralph retort on the Killstream. This is great. This was a feel-good, white pill, green moment.
I'll throw you a line. Stained glass window.
Put me on, Ralph. Put me on.
Never lets in the sun. All right, man. Darling, only the good die. Oh, what the fuck? I tell you, only the good die.
So the debate before this was this young girl. She's 20 years old, Catholic. And she's just where I was pretty much when I was 20. Maybe a little bit later, like 24. She only knows what she's been taught. So hopefully she'll take something away from this Adam debate. I wouldn't call it a debate. I would call it a teaching, a lesson, a class. And then shout out to Ralph, who's been beefing with Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is a cut Christian. There's nothing more to say. He's been conquered theologically. Anything he does ultimately isn't beneficial to wake movement, to waking people up out of the Judaic matrix. He's stuck in it and really driving it in. They love that. Well, after this, what I will put in quotations, a debate Adam and this lady were dressed up in costume, and this is how it ended, and it was just a good feel-good moment. I found myself dancing a little bit too.
I'll throw you a line. Stained glass window, you're high.
Put me on, Ralph. Put me on.
Never lets in the sun. All right, man. Darling, only the good die young.
Yeah!
I tell you, only the good die young. Got a nice white dress at a party.
I'm confirmation. Go.
Virginia, they didn't give you quite
Enough information on me, but you were counting on a rosary. Whoa.
There's a heaven for those who don't wait. And some say it's better, but I
Say it ain't.
I'd rather laugh with the sinners.
The crowd with the saints, the sinners are much more fun. I said, only the good die. Whoa.
Only the good die young.
Only the good die. So that was fun. I sing a lot better than Ralph, but Ralph has
I'll throw you a line.
a lot more viewers than I do. And it is great for him to bring on Adam, one of the few people that does. So that's why we love Ralph at the Ralph Retort. He's doing good. And that's great. Oh, and he revealed, Adam had a revealing on the show that there might be a bun in the oven. We're hoping for a man-child. The Zeus to Odin. Baked Alaska. Nick Fuentes. Zerka. That is all stupid people interfighting, biting their own tails. The only reason why we should care about it at all, I say we, is because it gives Adam, or perhaps even Albert, or anybody who's talking out against the Christian PSYOP, a stage. So we should celebrate that and try to twerk this situation to get the message out there, so that we break the chains of the Abrahamic Moshianic matrix that Masonry is in, Christianity, Islam, Satanism, even some schools of spiritualism, New Ageism, Theosophy has this person who was a dream interpreter, or no, he would, in his dream state, he would go into other worlds. Casey, Richard or Robert Casey, I think. And he said that he was there for the crucifix of Jesus. Now, could there have been a dude by the name of Yeshua? Not even Yeshua, because the Y, yeah. The J didn't exist, so there was no such person named Jesus. Sorry. Jesus is like a new name. You were saved by the name of Jesus. Jesus is like, the J didn't come into combination with Aramaic, Hebraic language until much later than the so-called existence of Jesus. So it's Yeshua, which is likened to Joshua. Was there anybody by that name who perhaps got crucified, killed under the reign of Pontius Pilate, a Jewish person, for being anti-Roman? That could have very well happened. It could have very well happened 100,000s of times. It's a fan fiction project. It is what is called midrash or pesher, which is just that, fan fiction, taking a story from tradition that you were given, perhaps in scriptures, perhaps embellished through oral tradition, and then you just further elaborated on it to get through your propaganda, usually politically motivated. It's done fucking today through Marvel Comics, through the Red Baron dressed up as in German uniform as the evil bad guy. Or are we at odds with the German, the Russians? So have a Russian bad guy. Are we at odds with the Islamic Middle Eastern Arabic people? Then we have them as the bad guy in movies. Who don't we have as the bad guy in movies? They'll even have black people as the bad guys still. Would they have, like... That's just interesting to think about. I don't want to go into it any further. Okay, my lovers. Let's play a song and sing together. Oh, we could do a karaoke song. We got any... Oh, we got 2 motherfucking concurrent viewers! Bam, 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 bam! No comments. 10 total views. We'll take what we could get. If just one person... I almost lit my cigarette backwards. That's when you should end the stream, is when you're lighting your cigarette backwards. Ah! I love Catholic music, though. Christian music, choral music. We could have came up with that if we didn't have Jesus or any of that. It would be just, instead of the name Jesus, would be like, Odin. I'm sure they had stuff like that. Orpheus. In his harp. Alrighty then. We got a notification. This guy Patrick of Southtown? Let's give him a shout out. Niji no Caruso is his whole name. Perhaps he's into anime. And I love anime. That's a recently thing. I exist. I enjoy living through books, committing acts of science, observing the complex variables of reality. What language? I'm Scottish and Sub-Saxon. I am Amalek follows him. He is looking out for anti-white stuff. Just when you think you've seen everything, is trying to absorb the crab. What's this about? What is that, bruh? Some black blob? Is it a jellyfish? Crab say, I ain't having it. Get off me. That's like your girlfriend trying to give you public displays of affection when there's other hot girls around. If you can name 12 of these objects you're too old, the pencil sharpener in class. What are they doing now? Oh, I guess just iPads and shit. But the best was when you got a new pair of sneakers or a new fit, and then you just go up to go sharpen your pencil, and it's just like high step there, stiff arm, some hater, bat your eyes at this baddie. Those were the days. Having a nightmare of being naked in school, that's like a common thing. What does that say about the psyche? The fact of dreams. That's something we sleep on. We don't give our dreams as much credence as we should. I mean, yeah, some dreams are just... No, all dreams happen. Even ones that are like, just that makes no sense. That's crazy. It's still coming from inside you. Reaching to the out. The ethereal. Pay attention to your dreams, bruh. What other ones can we talk about? On confirmation, you don't care for me, but you've been counting on the rose. Oh, we're gonna do a quiz together. Can we do this? Are you able to pass the vintage items quiz? This just tells you how old your ass is. These portable and versatile items were called what? Looks like an air conditioning filter, but I know that's not what it is. Is that for fucking putting over an air conditioning unit? Like the ones you hang in your window? That's exactly what it looks like. I had some other idea what it could be. Oh, like something for sewing, like a loom? I know I'm wrong on that, but I thought about that. Scratching post. Oh, for like a kitty? My kitty prefers my couch. And I have stuff for her that she could scratch. Bitch. Oh, my cat's such an asshole. And it just makes me like her more. Just like girls. An air filter. Okay. A back scratcher, no. A washboard. I think that might be it. Because I don't know what a fucking washboard is. Because I'm not that old. A vintage item. Okay, that is pretty vintage. Let's go with washboard. Correct! Yeah! Let's go! These are mainly used as washboards. What the fuck? They can also be used as a live musical instrument. They were very versatile and, of course, useful. Modern washing machines are much less labor intensive, though. All right, thank you guys. We're 1 for 1. Next question. Dog, I fucking hate laundry. Holy shit. Dog, I would marry some ugly, fat girl, Christian, Jewish, Muslim. Just to do my fucking laundry and clean the dishes. I'm doing big boy stuff. I don't have time for that shit. That doesn't mean that's not as equally as important. That is equally as important. We work together as a unit, black and white, yin and yang, male and female, coming together. And when you do it within yourself, so that you don't need someone else, the more strong you are, but then someone else will come and complement that and just big you up. That's the fire underneath the cauldron. The woman is the fucking fire and the fucking cauldron and the fucking stuff inside. The man is just the fucking air to fucking blow on it. And the fire too. And the fire. I think fire is equally male and female. Okay, next one. These are motherfucking floppy disks. Yeah, come on. Duh. Still look fucking cool as shit, dog. Bring back the floppy disk. But it makes you think of erectile dysfunction. Something not strong. But then you think of like the hard disks, and they're just like old, even older than the floppy disk, I think. No, floppy disk had a shorter stay. The hard disk came in after the floppy. That's a whole lot of floppy disks in our hand. That's very sexual. You would insert these, more sexual, into your computer, and they would pull up your saved files. These used to be very commonplace, but it's rare to see them now. Yeah. A math square and esoteric. You do a 3x3, a 9 squared square, and you put numbers in it, you do magic, and it works. TV video clips, physical MP3. That was a stupid one. Next question, please. Oh, wait a second. The fuck? This device looks interesting. What is it? Sorry, I wasn't alive during the last of the Mohicans. It kind of looks like it might be able to blow air onto like a fire maybe. So I'll go with blow or bellows. What the fuck is a bellow? A blowhorn? No. Gun case? Definitely not. Paddle, no. Well, first of all, we got right. A device with an airbag that releases air when squeezed together is called bellows. It was usually for blowing air into a fire. Bro, did I not just say that the masculine is fucking air and maybe fucking fire? Holy shit! Synchronicity, bro! Oh, I'm glad I caught that on camera. What? Alright, we're ending the stream there because that, I want to clip that. Wake movement. Wake the fuck up out of your dream world. Reality is scary at first and uncomfortable, but ultimately it's freeing. So let's go. One viewer right now. Somebody saw that live. Get your mind blown. All right, I love you guys so much.